Welcome to Cultura Latina. This week we're traveling to Peru, where the Chinese culture lives among the Andean customs. Then we're enjoying the ancient rhythms of the Sikuri music group. Wanna join me? The Tusanes are known in Lima as the Chinese immigrants and their descendants, who made their way into the Peruvian society with their delicious food, commerce, and a strong message of family integration. Wanna take a look? Chinese culture has a strong presence in Peru thanks to the success that Chinese immigrants and their descendants, known as Tusanes, have enjoyed in integrating into Peruvian society while maintaining their cultural heritage and identity. Dr. Luis Young from the Peruvian Chinese Association estimates there are 5 million Peruvians with Chinese last names living here.
Y hoy, orgullosamente, tenemos una corona china, una condescendiente.
Peru's workforce diminished when African Americans obtained their freedom, and so workers from China started to be hired. Since the working conditions were in reality slavery, humiliating and damaging to human dignity, the system ended in the treaty signed, the Treaty of Tianjin, between Peru and China, and a new type of immigration started to come from China.
Falta mano de obra en el Perú frente a la libertad de los negros.
The Chinese came not only to work, but they also integrated in the Peruvian culture. They married Peruvian cholas. I don't think this is a coincidence. There is a series of reasons why the Chinese integrated so well with the Peruvians and why the Peruvians accepted so well the Chinese. There is a whole history here. It starts with a Chinese shop on the corner, many of those little shops in each neighborhood, the Chinese guy on the corner, and he charged you fairly. He earned the trust of the Peruvians.
La confianza de los peruanos. Los conceptos de familia en el Perú.
The concept of family in Peru is very similar to the Chinese ones. That is to say, when the Chinese come here, it feels like home. All those things add up and make the Chinese feel very comfortable in Peru, and they fully integrate. They don't isolate themselves, but they integrate. Chino here is a word to be proud of.
Satisfacción. Y la aceptación de la comida china es de tal naturaleza.
The acceptance of the Chinese food is such that they began to proliferate and create small, medium, and large restaurants that receive a particular name only in Peru, the chifas. And here we have dishes where the Chinese contribute to Peruvian cuisine, and there are dishes where the Peruvian's cuisine contributes to the Chinese food.
The most popular of these fusion cuisine dishes is the Peruvian version of the Chinese fried rice.
El arroz.
Rice was brought to Peru by the Spanish, but the ones who popularized it and put it on the Peruvian tables were the Chinese. And the Chinese cooks created an emblematic dish. It is the chaufa rice. The sautéed rice, the fried rice, rice with soy sauce, eggs, vegetables, Chinese onions, and whatever meat you want. There's no better fried rice than the Peruvian chaufa. Not even in China can you get such a good fried rice like the Peruvian chaufa.
Being in the Andean region, Peru has many ancient artistic expressions. One of them is the Sikuri music, which is being kept alive by a group of artists who maintain the regular ways. Take a look. Remains of Andean musical instruments were found in a 5,000-year-old archaeological site called Caral in Peru. With the conquest of the Incan Empire in the 16th century, the Spaniards attempted to eliminate all cultural traditions in the area, but Andean music remains very much present. One of the traditions of Andean art is the Sikuris, which is kept alive entirely through traditional ways.
El arte de Sikuri es el arte de tocar el siku. El siku es el instrumento y el Sikuri es el arte.
Sikuri is the art of playing the siku. Siku is the instrument and Sikuri is the art. It comes from the Altiplano, from the area surrounding Lake Titicaca. We play in pairs and groups, according to what's traditional. We think that through traditional arts and native musical instruments, we can teach many values. And going further than teaching how to play an instrument, we think we can prioritize educating people, the children, since these days it is common to be individualistic, egoistic, and egocentric. In Sikuri, that does not prevail. That is why we are in a circle and we all respect each other. We teach Sikuri to children because we see drastic change. It is a necessity to pair up and play in pairs. And if one does not get the song, it is no use that the other does. Therefore, they have to work together and help each other. It is the same as a group. The comments of the parents are that the children take those attitudes to everyday life. They start to see that in a group, things work a bit better.
Ya empezaban a ver que en grupo las cosas salían un poquito mejor, ¿no?
Other types of Andean fusion music are very popular in the Peruvian towns and cities throughout its mountain ranges, but traditional types also have a following thanks to artists like Consuelo Jerry, who is a performer of the music she learned as a child.
I was born with music. I learned at home from my father and my mother and my community, because I'm from a little town. And in small towns, as opposed to cities, we share our life experiences. The truth is that our home is the community, not just our house, but the community. Since I was able to reason, I have been singing. And I have learned to sing exactly in that oral and visual manner, participating in the daily activities of my town. Over there, you do everything singing. For example, in sowing, harvest, even in the process of marking animals. In everything we sing. From a very young age, we participated in the sowing because my town is wholly agricultural. When we sow in November and when the rain starts, the wives go with flowers and food at certain times, and when people rest to eat, the wives start singing. Those a cappella shouts. It gives me goosebumps to remember all that. It's a small town, very pretty. And from my parents, because I've heard my father sing all the time. He would sing in family gatherings with the harp, the violin, and his friends also with guitars. That is why I can sing all my father's songs by heart.
Well, that was a lot of culture, right? I expect you again next week with another amazing taste of Latin American culture. See you then.